Hey guys, this video is all about how to grow and care for a Kalanchoe plant. November or even December month is the perfect time to grow the Kalanchoe, and if you haven't grown it yet, please do, because they are just gorgeous. And the plus point of Kalanchoe is that the blooms last for many days. I mean, sometimes they even last for 60 days, and that's why you should grow it at your home. This is one cutting which I am going to plant today, and if you did not know, it's really very easy to propagate the Kalanchoe plant from the cuttings or just from a single leaf. I already have a video where I have shown the entire process, and if you don't know how to do it, then please watch that video simply clicking on the I button on top right corner. By the way, I do have many more cuttings and even leaves as well, and all of them I am going to plant today. For the container, I am just going to use a 6 inches of plastic pot, but let me tell you that if you want to grow only one single plant, that time you can use much smaller pot. Let's say for one plant, 4 inches of pot would be just perfect. I am saying this, see, Kalanchoe is a succulent, and definitely it's not going to grow faster just like hibiscus, so it won't give you a very nice look if you are using a very big pot and plant itself is looking very small in that container. For the potting soil mix, I am using 70% of normal garden soil and 30% of vermicompost. Please note that if you are growing Kalanchoe for the very first time, then I really don't recommend you to use the same potting soil mix, because Kalanchoe is a succulent and this is not the right potting soil mix for a succulent. I did not have the coco peat or even the perlite that day, and that's why I just decided to use the garden soil. So let me give you some more alternatives so that you can grow Kalanchoe very easily. First alternative would be, you can take 30% of normal garden soil, 30% of coco peat, and rest 30% of vermicompost. You can add near about 10% of perlite to the potting soil mix. However, you don't have to worry even though if you are going to add bit more perlite. The second alternative would be, you can take 60% of coco peat and rest 40% of vermicompost. And the last alternative would be, you can take 3 different components in equal part, where one part would be the garden soil, other part would be the vermicompost, and the last part would be the sand. And if you are going to prepare the potting soil mix this way, you really don't have to worry about like your plant is going to die because of overwatering. Now I am just making a hole in the center, planting the cuttings, and then gently pressing the soil. Just after planting the cutting or even just after repotting your plant, you want to water your plant, but I am not going to do it at this time because you can see that my soil is looking somewhat wet. So I would wait until and unless topsoil is dry. I would say that at least 1 inch of soil is dry, and then only I am going to water it. Next, I am going to keep the pot in a bright area for next few days, let's say 3 to 4 days, and then I am going to keep the pot on terrace. Now please keep watching. So guys, this is the final result after waiting for 107 days, and I am extremely happy to share the result something like this. I also hope, I truly hope that you are also liking the end part of the video. Since this is the end part, let us discuss few important things very quickly. But before doing that, let me tell you one important thing very quickly. See, if you want to buy the Kalanchoe plant at the blooming stage, then please go for only those plants which have too many buds. As you can see, this is one of my plant and it has way too many buds. And if you buy plant something like this, you would be able to enjoy the blooms for many more coming days. And like I said earlier, sometimes you would be able to enjoy the blooms for 2 months. While talking about sunlight requirements, please note that you can provide your Kalanchoe plant whole day of sunlight, but as soon as you see that they have started forming the buds or even they have started blooming, that time please try to save them from the midday heat or even afternoon sunlight. During blooming stage, if you keep your plants under the direct sunlight, for the whole day, that time the blooms are not going to last for many more days. And this is the same thing I am doing. I already said you that I was keeping all of my plants on terrace, and as of now, I am keeping all of the plants in my balcony itself. And I believe you already know that my balcony doesn't get the whole day of sunlight. To grow the Kalanchoe plant successfully, you have to be extremely good at watering. I already said you that Kalanchoe is a succulent, and that's why it doesn't need too much water. Before watering, always let the top soil, I would say that let the top 1 inch soil dry out completely and then only water it. As you can see, my pot is looking absolutely dry, so please keep it this way, and as soon as you see that top 1 inch soil is dry, that time please water it. However, it's always a good idea not to water on the leaves. The best thing about growing Kalanchoe is that you really don't have to worry about fertilizing them on a regular basis. This is because they bloom only once per season, and in my place they almost stop blooming from around April month. However, this may be a little bit different for you, but please also note that whatever you do, they will be blooming only once per season. That's the main reason why I don't fertilize my Kalanchoe heavily, but if you want to fertilize them regularly, then you can simply apply near about 50 to 70 grams of either vermicompost or compost cow dung powder. If you like, you can also add near about 2 teaspoons, that would be 10 grams of bone meal to the fertilizers. But like I said you already, you really don't have to worry about fertilizing too much, and without fertilizing as well, you can get the better result, but for that you should prepare your potting soil mix properly. So far I fertilized them only once, and I did it as soon as I saw they are forming the buds. And if you want to apply the similar kind of fertilizer, then you can take near about half teaspoon, mix it into 1 liter of water and then apply directly on the soil. It's a high pK fertilizers, and this work as a bloom booster fertilizer. I did not get any kind of pest attack on my plants, but if you are getting any kind of difficulties, then please use neem oil once in 7 to 10 days. I do have a video where I have shown the entire process, and please watch that video simply clicking on the I button on top right corner. If you want to save your plants in the summer season, then please watch out for the slugs and snails. And if you have seen my other video about the propagating Kalanchoe, then you already saw how badly slugs and snails damaged my plants. So please be careful if you want to save the plants during the summer season. So guys, this is all about how to grow and care for the Kalanchoe plant, and I would say that all of my cuttings grew really very well. You can also see the baby growth emerging from the leaves. As you can see, they are looking absolutely gorgeous, and I know that they are also going to bloom in coming few days. If you found the video useful, please don't forget to like it, share it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and many thanks for doing that. Again, if you have any questions or feedback on the video, please write it below, and please, you don't have to feel any shy, just write it what is in your mind. Thank you very much for taking your valuable time to watch the video. I truly appreciate it. Have a great day and enjoy.